Identification of yourself with anything limits us. Keep it free. One sandalwood will bring you at its maturity, takes about 15 years, 5 lakh rupees, today's market rate. And per acre, you can easily grow 400 plants, trees. You'll get 20 crores per acre. And he is doing more than 1,000 acres. That spiritual life and material life must always remain integrated, woven together. And that's what we are trying to do. The country must rise, not only spiritually, materially also. See, when we talk of moving spiritually, what does it mean to grow spiritually? It only means I'm moving from one level of consciousness to the next available consciousness.
From a thinking mind to a feeling heart, from a receptive mind to a responsive heart, Kamleshdaaji Patel, lovingly known as Daaji, a Padma Bhushan awardee, is a visionary who's bridging the wisdom of ancient meditation with the realities of modern life. A seasoned businessman, he now channels that acumen into building heartfulness into a global movement. His work is about guiding individuals towards inner peace, shaping destinies, and cultivating clarity, compassion, purpose, and much more in people across continents. From his own journey of self-discovery to mentoring seekers and leaders alike, Daaji inspires us to lead with both our mind and our hearts. I await the wisdom and inspiration that this conversation promises to bring, because today I am representing an entire community of individuals who have become seekers, seekers of truth, seekers of growth, seekers of the inner self. So join me in finding valuable answers to our everyday struggles and dilemmas, and in drawing inspiration to keep fueling the seeking. Welcome to the show. Pranams.
Welcome to Kanha.
Daaji, I wanted to start this podcast with one question. We know that you are a spiritual guide. We know that you are a deep seeker. We know that you are a wonderful businessman. But how do you see yourself? How do you see Kamleshdaaji Patel?
More I think of it, who am I? Only answer that comes is, I'm nobody. That's an honest answer. And trying to reflect and say, I am so and so, will be, I think, insulting to the potential that God has given to all of us. That once you identify yourself as whatever, then you have already struck a deal with that identification. See? While the infinite existence has given us infinite resources and potential to become that infinity. So it's difficult to identify yourself, even if you consider yourself as a businessman. Am I doing business at the moment? No. Am I guiding anyone at the moment? No. Am I receiving transmission from above? Much more than that. So it's difficult to say I am this at this moment. It's like a river, which keeps flowing. And I am this water. By the time you touch a finger with water, that water has changed. And you can't identify yourself and say, I am so and so. If at all you identify and say, I am so, it's from your past. And it does not unveil what you are going to become in the future. Right? So, identification of yourself with anything limits us. Keep it free.
Wow. And that sort of openness, Daji, how do we come about that sort of openness?
Well, we have to understand why I don't have to limit myself with certain identification.
Daji, I wanted to ask you about creating a vision for one's own growth and for the environment around us. When I came here to Kanha, I saw that there's so much happening, such beautiful things happening, and it could not have been without a vision. Today, to be an effective leader, a vision is required, is what I feel. But I wanted to ask you, Daji, you have done projects like the Taranga forest. You're converting coal mines into, green spaces. These are all such things that are unheard of. But, how important is vision here for anybody to lead an effective life?
I think one has to have vision for sure. Babuji Maharaj, he had a tremendous vision, but as I see it, he was struggling. Was it his limitation? No. What we are seeing, envisioning at the moment, luckily we are at a junction in time where the vision is matching with the efforts. We have so many willing hearts who are ready to sacrifice whatever, tan man dan, as they say in Hindi. They come up here with all-out efforts. For example, when we just started a few years back, I would say in 2016, later in 2017, we used to hardly have rain, 600 mm, 750 mm. And by the time Diwali is finished, meaning October is over, all ponds will dry up. Water level will go down 1800 feet. So I used to tell our Abhyasis, Satsangis, to bring at least 1 liter of water, even if it is tap water or even if it is ganda water, dirty water from the pond, bring it.
Oh.
We used to buy a tanker full of water from surrounding villages. So this is how we started. So there is a genuine commitment from our volunteers, workers. Moreover, at the right time, we had the help of right forest officers who had extensive experiences how to grow forests. We have reached almost into 164 countries. So what happens, we are at a greater advantage of pulling that knowledge source, the volunteer source, the species of trees and plants that we would look forward to. So all this thing came together here, and after 2017, the micro-environment began to change. And the very next year we had, imagine, rain from 750 to 2,400 mm.
Wow.
Just in a few years. And it's consistently remaining self-sufficient for all of. This year already, monsoon is not over, and yet we have crossed 1200 mm at Kanha. So this micro-environmental effect is not only helping Kanha, but surrounding villages are also benefiting from it. See. So along with the vision, I think, we need people who can come together, work together. So idea is one thing, coming together is another, and working together is yet another matter. See.
Wow, right. So it's time, vision, knowledge, commitment, and consistency.
Unity. See.
Unity, yes, which is very difficult to find, Daji, in today's world, the unity.
See, in less than 9 months, we completed Taranga projects, which was given to us by our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi. It's a very ancient and dilapidated Tirth Dham, Jain Tirth. All barren, worse than perhaps Kanha. Stones everywhere, not a single tree there. And he says, since I have seen your Kanha, I'd like to replicate that at this Jain Tirth Dham, which is much neglected. And he bite the idea of growing sandalwood there. I was calculating with him that one sandalwood will bring you at its maturity, takes about 15 years, 5 lakh rupees at today's market rate.
Right.
And per acre, you can easily grow 400 plants, trees. So you'll get 20 crores per acre. And he is doing more than 1,000 acres.
My God.
So you calculate the numbers. It's the budget of the entire state.
Yes.
In 15 years will be completed. So if we can have few thousand acres like that in every state, not just sandalwood, but depending on the local support from the environment, I think we can change not just the environment, but the economy of the state and people. Because my dream is to have, at least 50 to 100 acres of such agroforestry. For example, if you had only 10 acres, 1 acre is 20 crores, 10 acres is 200 crores. Imagine in 15 years you get 200 crores in a village and you distribute this wealth amongst the villagers. Their only job is to look after it, secure it so that it's not stolen. So this will also bring the community together. They will think this is a great things to do because they are seeing the carrot at the end of the effort.
And the forward-thinking vision of the people leading, which is also so important, Daaji. I think when I hear you talk about this so passionately, the one thing that comes to my mind is that how you are thinking about people and their future and not limiting it to just whoever is around at this moment.
Well, our Adi Guru Babuji Maharaj and Lalaji and Chariji, they say, what's the use of growing in spirituality if it does not change your life? And they would always say that I should not go into spirituality so much that your materialistic life, your bhautik jivan, remains unfulfilled. Your duty toward children, parents suffers because you don't have enough money to support their education, their health, their shelter. So they would always emphasize that spiritual life and material life must always remain integrated, woven together. And that's what we are trying to do, that country must rise, not only spiritually, materially also. If you focus too much in spirituality like bygone days, then you'll have a false satisfaction.
But how do we, Daaji, have that sense of detachment when it comes to materialistic life? Because it's very easy to slip into this or that completely.
It's okay. Temporarily, you might get swayed by it. But when you meditate on a daily basis, it tells you, it reminds you all the time, your heart, it whispers very gently and tells you what not to do. And you always get the moment of readjusting your course in life. So heart always fine tunes. We may make mistake, it's okay. But we are not that stupid to continue on the same path of mistake. Otherwise, heart will not let you have a peace of mind. That's why most people don't meditate, because heart keeps telling you via thoughts. Ye mat karo, wo mat karo.
Daaji, we spoke about meditating every day. And I want to ask you, is there a way that we perform our routine every day and still grow spiritually, Daaji? Is there a way in which we perform our everyday routine as well that will move us from one place to another spiritually?
See, when we talk of moving spiritually, what does it mean to grow spiritually? It only means I'm moving from one level of consciousness to the next available consciousness. I cannot move to the next level unless and until I remove some baggage from myself. It's like when you are in a balloon and balloon is going up and up and up. Now, it has its own limitation. If there is too much of weight, it will remain at a lower level on earth. You remove some weight from it, it will rise higher. You remove more weight, it will rise higher. Or increase the propellant capacity to the extent that you are able to escape through escape velocity, the Earth's gravitational force. So how do we develop this more and more of less and less of weight on my consciousness? How do I become lighter? So without becoming lighter, I should know I cannot go to the next level of consciousness. So I have to get rid of something willingly or willy-nilly, as they say. Accept the change, that without this I can remain. So cleaning is very important. In Sahaj Marg system and heartfulness way, we do the cleaning. I call it sacred cleaning of our heart. So that we remove what binds us to this world, to this grosser level of consciousness, until that changeless condition comes into us.
Daaji, I also wanted to ask you, multitasking has become such a common thing these days. We are everywhere. We want to be available for everybody and everything, be it work. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to be a part of every department. That's how things are going these days. And you are extending yourself to the point that you become restless. Even a minute you get to yourself, you feel restless because you're tied down with so many versions of you being everywhere. How do I calm a restless mind, Daaji?
Well, there is nothing wrong with multitasking. If you are able to do that, you see, if I share rather my observation of how my mother worked, how my father worked, they were all multitaskers. You see your mother, father, they're all, they go to business, your mother cooks, looks after you, paints, she has so many roles to play. When we talk of focusing your attention only on one thing at a time, it is about the main goal of life. While doing all these things, multiple things, I should retain one level of awareness that all these things I am doing it is to fulfill the main thing. See, once I was with Babuji Maharaj in winter times in Shahjahanpur. It's very cold there and not much of moisture. So I had gone there during my vacation. I was unprepared with all these moisturizers, and those days were not easily available except petroleum jelly. Anyway, all of a sudden he called me. Luckily, we were only two of us then. Okay. Yes, he was like this, so from a distance I came, sat near him, and he scratches his hand like this. So he drew a line. He scratched means because of that
dryness,
dry skin, he could draw a line there. He says, think there is a water, this is a water canal. Water is flowing. Then he'd make another scratch on his hand. He said, do you understand? I said, no, Babaji. 50% power is reduced. Then he threw the third one. I said, you understand? I said, yes, Babaji. So each channel we make in our mind, we somehow reduce that initial force. Life should have only one force. What is my purpose in life? Keep that ongoing. The rest of the things are only to support that main thing. Main goal. You do business, you earn money so that you can travel.
Yes.
Visit holy places perhaps, visit your gurus, serve as volunteers with that money that you have earned. What else will you do with your money?
It's true.
So, but background should be only this, that I am earning this to fulfill the main
Yes.
thing. So, even the business activities will become spiritual. There will be a flavor of spirituality in business. While you are cooking, same thing, same attention. So, though you are multitasking, your main purpose is served. Even if you run around here and there like a chicken, plucked chicken, they say, it's okay. As long as plucked chicken remembers its goal.
I've been called a headless chicken many times because I'm going around doing so many things. So
It's okay. Keep that main thing in your heart. In the beginning, it may challenge you how to, but slowly you'll get somehow used to this idea of maintaining such a state. And you can maintain it only if you are in love with it. Then it becomes automatic. Without love, it will become a burden.
Daaji, I wanted to ask you, as you were talking about travel, going places to holy places. The past decade, there has been a shift. Today, when I find myself in a difficult space or a difficult time, I've gotten myself used to running away or going somewhere, a solo trip or being away from reality. And this is something that's becoming more and more common with a lot of people in my generation. How do we create an environment that can sustain all seasons of emotions, Daaji? Because you said, only if you're in love with it, you can do it. But can you tell us a little bit more about how to make or create an environment that will sustain all weathers?
Well, I like that, your proposal, how to maintain that environment. Babuji Maharaj also conveyed a very powerful message like that during 30th April 1978 birthday celebration in Bangalore. I remember that message very well. See. At that time, I was giving my exams in pharmacy. That was my final year. When I read that message, it struck me so well that he, in such simple words, conveys what Lord Krishna had conveyed through chapters. Numbers of slokas are needed to convey a simple message. He conveyed that message in a very simple way, giving modern examples so that we can understand and appreciate. He said, look, outside weather keeps changing. Bangalore weather, he said. Hot sometimes cold, sometimes freezing. But if you have air conditioning in your room, you can maintain that temperature. So he said, air condition your heart. And this state of sthita prajna, that you are always leveled, only through meditation. There is no other way.
How do we become our versions of you, Daaji? We want to become like our guru, but how do we become our versions of you?
How to become Guru's version? ये question जो है ना, it's arising out of misunderstanding. God has created Gayu very unique. Sanjay is unique. Daaji is unique. Lord Krishna is unique. और कुछ बनने की कोशिश मत करो, ईश्वरमयी रहो और देखो वो आप में से कैसा हीरा बनाते हैं. How, what sort of diamond he cuts out of you. We are all diamonds. But let him chisel us little by little and see what sort of a glow he creates in us. See, the moment we say, I want to become like this or that, problem starts there. Choice comes in, likes comes in, dislikes comes in, and then the problem starts. When we surrender, my God, make me as you want. Chisel as you like and make whatever shape you want to give it. So we should surrender this becoming also, the concept of becoming. Surrender. That's why Lord Krishna says, surrender.
Daaji, yesterday we spoke about vision. Today I want to ask you about something very, it's a part of our daily life. Now, what people used to be in a company where they were buying stocks or shares, that's the intensity in which we are making decisions today, where the stakes are so high and the time is so short to make decisions. How do we make decisions that are more decisive and also be connected within, because intuition seems to play a very important role in this. So how do we be connected, Daaji?
Well, if you really want to move at that pace, no human mind can run that fast, because even though you may be such an expert, but you cannot defeat AI. within fraction of a second, it can make few transactions.
Yes.
It can surprise you. So I would recommend, if you really want to gamble, use AI.
But in generic, even in our day-to-day lives, Daaji, what I feel is that we are having to make decisions so quickly and then we don't know if we are doing the right thing or not. How do we know for sure that this is the right way to go? Where does the intersection happen?
Well, the intersection is always the heart. You have to listen to your heart. Sometimes when we are in a state of flow, for example, you have seen cricketers who are hitting six sixes in 1 over or 6 fours in 1 over. They are in a state of flow. And if you ask them, how did you do it? They say, it was the moment.
Just the moment.
They say. Now, if that person was in a stressful situation, would he be in a position to do all those things? It's not possible. So, stress-free life is very important. See, if you are, for example, jogging and you see a beautiful flower, you notice it, but you will not be able to identify perhaps or get even the fragrance of it. If you are going in a car, you might see a patches of colors, not even the flowers. You'll say, oh, red color I'm passing pink colors, blue colors, like that. If you're going by a train, so faster you go, you have a less chance of observing things. If you are walking, but if you are standing right in front of a rose that has bloomed, you'll be able to appreciate and see things properly. Our mind is faster than any vehicle. If you are moving, if your thoughts are moving faster and faster, at one moment this, at the moment that, you are not able to focus on any subject.
Correct.
So you have to settle. See? That's why you have to train your mind to settle on one object. Put an end to that, whatever you are doing, conclude it, move to the next, conclude it, move to the next. But all these acts has to be done with a calm mind, see. And complexity of it is such that while you are attending one thing, it can excite you. Second thing might depress you. Third thing might be in between kind of a thing. So how do you juggle between varying states of mind? One moment it's so exciting, another moment it's in a different flow. So I think meditation is the only thing that can bring a steady state of mind under all situations. So I highly recommend that, more dynamic you become, there is more need for meditation, say.
Absolutely. Daaji, I wanted to ask you in this flow of thought, in today's times, we are so exposed to each other's lives in so many ways. We are aware what another person is doing, wanting to know or not. There is a sense of comparison and competition that's brewing constantly and consistently, and it feels very there is a state of stress that continues happening on a constant basis. How do we handle this sort of
Your
complexity
question
of
itself
thought?
carries a lot of answers. Stop doing it. And why do you want to post your life on a social media?
Right.
You want to show off, perhaps? Even people who say, I shared my sadness today, I cried and I shared my tears on the phone. It's foolishness. To what extent one can become foolish? I mean, it just amazes you. And then later on you blame yourself. And it's good that you're blaming yourself instead of blaming others. Yeah, so I would say don't expose your life. Have at least some respect for your life.
Daaji, I wanted to ask you next about, we've spoken much about karma, but my question today is a little bit more focused. Do mere negative thoughts add to our karma? Because, we acknowledge the fact that most of us have negative thoughts, which could be fleeting about somebody, about something. But does that add to our karma?
Definitely. When we think of consciousness, especially evolution of consciousness, when do you become so consciously evolved in the field of consciousness, where your consciousness expands, where you find a lot of joy, versus any act whose result can upset you? What happens to your consciousness when you become sad?
Yes.
Your consciousness shrinks. Yes. Now, to understand all these things, I have to understand what consciousness is all about. It's a degree of perception, degree of awareness. More joyful I am, I will be able to perceive things better. If I become sad, that means I'm focusing more on myself and my sadness, my problems. You are not able to see things from a different angle about others. So perceptive ability shrinks when you are contracted. Now, what happens when you have positive thoughts? You are in a state of buoyancy. You are bouncing in air, joyful with positive thoughts. With negative thoughts, it drags you down. It makes your whole consciousness heavier, denser. So if you pay attention to all these negative thoughts and positive thoughts, then you'll be able to easily see yourself, what each one can play out their role in our lives. It suddenly changes your frequency. And I think these are all measurable things today. Consciousness, how it affects my state of mind, how it affects my frequency of awareness, how sadness or joy can change this frequency, how positive thoughts, how negative thoughts can affect. So it's a very mesmerizing science actually. Why go to that extent also in science? See little children when they are sad, what they can do, and when they are happy, what they can achieve.
It's beautiful. Daaji, I wanted to ask you, see, I see more and more that miracles have become like a gateway for belief and strengthening of belief as well today. People speak of miracles and then how that has increased their faith. But what are miracles, Daaji?
Well, miracles are something that you don't expect to happen in a normal way. See, suppose from my pocket I take out Rolex watch and give it to you. This is a miracle, something which is not done in normal sense of the way. To us, as heartfulness way, my Guruji Maharaj used to say, the real miracle is transforming a human being, change his prasad, change his inner personality. If he cooperates, many people meditate, but very rarely a person succeeds because whatever be the interest, still that total interest is not there. It's too superficial. One has to have that authentic search, then things are possible.
Daaji, how should I pray? I'll tell you why. Because when I was young, I used to think that I should not ask God for anything. I should just pray that, you give me whatever comes and I will, take it. But today I feel like God is the only person I can open myself up to completely and ask for what I feel I require. So what is a prayer? How should I pray, Daaji?
Prayer should be an innocent dialogue between yourself and God. Prayer is a submission from our side. You made a phone call to God, that is prayer. But how will you listen God? And as you say, I would listen through the heart, but how would you listen through the heart? See, having offered the prayer, I had to become silent. And it is in this silence that God converses with us. So, prayer is our way of getting in touch with God. His way is to get in touch with us in our silence. So, you have to meditate. It's a combination. You may pray, but if you don't meditate, that prayer is futile. Because you have to wait for the response. How to pray will happen automatically when you understand these two.
Daaji, one last question I have for you. Is there a message that you would like to leave for our generation today?
Well, it's the same thing which many people expect. The generations today that we have is very special generation. You see, don't go on criticizing them. They are too fragile to handle any criticism.
Yes.
Today's generation should pay attention on creating certain habits, positive habits, in a constructive way. Whatever they are interested in, let us say cricket or playing music or any art form, they have to practice. Musicians they'll tell you without riyaz, without dedicated practice, you cannot be a good musician. Same thing is in sports, same thing is in education. It's a principle which is universally applied in everything. Practice, practice and practice, you see. Another thing that is vanishing is respect for elders. Be they your parents or your relatives or some stranger, you must respect the elders. That's all I have to share with my younger friends.
Thank you, Daaji. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you.